Okay, so before you were here, how many people believe in past lives? Yeah, I do more and more. The more I've been doing this work, I really believe that we have a past life, that we stay as an individual soul, and that we go from life to life, experiencing and growing as a soul, experiencing different things. We want to experience everything as a soul, so we want to experience everything good and everything not so good, so that we understand and have a rounded soul experience. So we go from life to life, working on different things. It doesn't have to always be difficult lessons, interesting things we set up for ourselves, but also experiencing wonderful things, getting closer and closer to that point where we're living this joyful, wonderful experience. And it might not seem like that. It might seem that we're here to have strife and difficulty, but nobody has a sole purpose just to have difficulty and to be here to be a victim or, to have a difficult life. We're not here. We're here to have a soulful, a beautiful, joyful journey. And the obstacles that we have in our way are things that we've brought to ourselves just to experience it. Because life would be pretty boring if everything was just perfect and everything just came to us, right? So we pick things just to have that kind of experience. But the idea is to get through these difficulties and the bumps as just challenges that come our way to experience and to learn from, to grow from, and then to move on. But ultimately to be getting closer and closer to that point where we just feel like we're having this wonderful, joyful purpose, that we're living our soul purpose, and that we're doing that and really enjoying and loving life. We're supposed to get closer and closer to that. So we're up there in heaven, and we've had our past life, and we're looking down at this next life that we want to have. We've decided we haven't learned quite enough. We'd like to have another physical experience. And we do grow when we're up there in heaven. We do continue to develop as a soul. But when we come here to earth, this is really the place to accelerate our growth. So congratulations that you are here, accelerating your growth. You have a whole team of spirits up there going, yay, they did it. We're watching, that's our team player down there doing the hard work, and you have all these beautiful spirits around you that are cheering on for you. But you're the ones that are really here doing the actual physical, difficult work down here on earth. So you've decided what you're going to do in this life. So you're up there in heaven, you've had this past life, you've reviewed what you did well at and what you didn't do well at, and you've decided you're going to come back in for another physical life. And we sit down with all our guides and masters and with divine. We do this with divine, with God, divine source, whatever you believe. And we decide what we are going to have as our experiences in this life. Now, we have a lot of free will. We have a lot of choice on how we do it, but we're going to pick some major things for ourselves that we want to work on. And probably these are things that we've already been working on and developing in a previous life and that we want to continue. Usually our soul purpose we've had already for 2 or 3 lifetimes, and we're continuing that purpose. We don't usually have a new purpose each lifetime we come in. So this might be a new theme for you, but it's probably something you've been working on through many lifetimes. So you sit up there with divine and you think about, what do I want as my main purpose in life? What am I going to be really special and good at? We are all unique. We all have a unique purpose. Yeah, we might have similar things. You might find several people want to be healers, but not everybody wants to do it exactly the same way. And you might think, well, my purpose is to go out and do and spread the word and do this. Doesn't everybody want that? Well, not everybody wants the same thing. Some people, believe it or not, some people actually like to be the people behind the scenes that organize things. I can't imagine being one of those, but there are some people like that and wouldn't like to do what I do. We all like to do everything a little bit different. We all have an individual soul purpose, how we are going to do something. When we do that thing that we love to do, that we're meant to do, that we chose with divine, when we do that thing, we feel amazing. And it might not be like a particular job, a particular career, but when we are working in that energy, it might be in your career, but it might be in your family, it might be in your hobby. But when you are living that soul purpose and you're really doing and experiencing and expressing that on this earth, it feels amazing because that's what you're meant to be doing. So the closer and closer we get to that really happy feeling, doing that thing we love is closer and closer to our soul purpose. So our soul purpose is never going to be something difficult or horrible or something we don't like. And we love our soul purpose. It is our purpose. We know it, and it's divine, and it's chosen by divine right. It's chosen with divine, with all these beautiful guides and masters. So it's going to be something that you are good at, that you're meant to be doing. It's not going to be something, you're not going to be put on this earth to be a great musician, but yet you have a terrible voice and you can't do it. You're going to be put here with all the talents to do whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing. So we choose our main theme, our divine purpose, what we're going to be really good at. I'm going to be great at working with children, or I'm going to be healing animals and working with animals, or I'm going to be helping youth to open up. I'm going to be helping people to understand themselves, whatever it is, whatever it's going to make us feel really good. We have our purpose. Then we might also have some bits of finished karma that we want to deal with, bits of karmic relationships or situations from past lives that we want to maybe throw in a little bit of that. We throw in some interesting things and challenges. Some of the challenges that we throw in are actually to help to get us on a purpose. Sometimes we'll have a difficult situation in our early childhood because that situation is something that we're meant to overcome, become stronger out of, and then use that on our soul purpose. Perhaps we're meant to have difficult relationships with our parents or somebody when we're younger, and in being able to get through that situation, we can now help others, or we can now understand more our soul purpose. So sometimes what seems like a challenge in your life turns out to be a tool, a way of learning something that you're going to be using. So it can be hard to decipher what's your true purpose and what are our challenges and what are our karma. So before we come into this life, we choose what's our main role and then some of the main activities that we're going to be working on. But we choose it more in an energy. So maybe we're working on the energy of love, of standing up for ourselves. Maybe we're choosing the energy of working on overcoming an illness, something like that. But how exactly that comes to us is up to us. So it could come to us in our relationship with our Father, and maybe we deal with that, and we're going to express it and learn what we need from that. But if we don't complete that, then maybe we're going to have a relationship that's going to come in. And maybe we could be done in that one relationship that wasn't very nice, but maybe we don't quite complete it. And so we then have it with our boss at work, right? So it's not that every single thing in our life is set up. There's certain energies set up. And the trick is how can we absorb that, learn that lesson, and go on and dissolve that and leave behind any of the negative part of it so that we're not continually having this challenge over and over and over. Okay. So we've all picked a divine soul purpose. And we're going to be expressing that in our life. Often it will come later in life. Some of you are quite young that are in here, and it's great that you've come early and you're already discovering what your soul purpose is. Some people don't get to it until they've got later in life to discover their soul purpose. So you pick stuff you're going to have, and you throw in some interesting challenges. And you can pick things like, well, I was good with finances in my past life, so I'd like to experience that. Let's have a little bit of financial struggle. And a little bit of financial struggle is going to help me with what I want to do for my soul purpose, helping others. I don't love myself. I haven't learned to love myself. So I'd like to express some self-love in this life. That's going to be important to me, and that's going to really help me with my soul purpose. So let me throw in some crappy relationships. That would be fun, right? Maybe a little bit of health issues. That would be interesting, Bit of grief, right? So you pick these major events, and some of them might not seem so nice, right? And, of course, you're up there in heaven, everything's bliss, so everything seems like a lot of fun when you're picking it. And then you're born, a little baby, and this veil comes over you, and you've completely forgotten everything. And it's all sitting in your energy field. We have a physical body, but we also have energy around us, which is part of our body. And your karma, your things that are spiritual level are going to be further out here. And as we want to experience those things, they're going to come closer. So if one of your lessons is to experience self-love, and that's going to come in the form of relationships, then that relationship's going to show up when you're in your 20s or your 30s, and you're going to meet that person. And oh, it's amazing. You fall madly in love. Now, the players in our life that are going to be with us most deeply are really our soulmates. So when you meet your soulmates, these are the relationships that you meet, your parents as well, but your romantic relationships, they are your soulmates, but that could be wonderful. And it could be that lesson that's coming along, right? So you might have that lesson coming along, you meet that soulmate, and it seems just wonderful, everything's perfect, and then you guys start arguing and getting in a bad relationship, and that soulmate can really push your buttons because they really know you, and that energy comes closer and closer, and it's really that lesson for you to tell yourself, I'm not going to be treated this way, and I'm going to stand up for myself. And if you do, great, but if you don't, it's going to come closer and closer, and it might actually manifest into something physical. But these different challenges are around us in our energy field, and if we can maybe look at that and see, well, I'd like to overcome that, I'd like to dissolve that, make that easier for ourselves, and get closer and closer to getting over these challenges and getting closer to doing what we really want to do, that thing that makes us really happy, that we feel really fulfilled. It's not about just having a job just to pay the bills. When we really do what we really love and we trust in divine, we're supposed to have abundance that comes with that. So when we really trust that what we love, if we follow our dream, that the money will come. If we really trust it will come. So how many of you feel like you're doing a job that you're really doing more for the money, for the stability, that you're not really something you love to do? Yeah, so we want to get you to figure out, what it is that you love. Sometimes we know what we love, but we have a hard time getting there, and sometimes we're a little afraid. Sometimes there's some past life stuff holding us back. So how many of you feel like you know what you'd like to do, but you're having a hard time getting there? Yeah. And how many of you don't really know what it is that you love? Right, so let's start there. Let's start on clarifying what is our soul purpose. What are we really supposed to be doing? So go ahead and look at that list on the second page. These are traits, talents that you might have. Now, a talent might be, being creative, being good at math, things like that, but a talent can also be something like being a good listener, or being very sensitive, being very organized. Could even be being very strict, something you might not think of a talent. So have a look at that. These are your life traits. Think about what jumps out to you and put a little X next to it, or put a little mark next to it, and put the traits that jump out that you think that you have. And then think about, what do people say about you? Because sometimes we say, oh, well, yeah, I'd like to be that. People say I am that, but no, I can't really believe I am that. So if people keep telling you over and over you're good at something, even if you don't believe it, go ahead and put a little check mark next to that. Who wants to share some of the things that jump out at them right away? Who would like to share with me? Okay, what's the words that jump out? Artistic. What else? So that really jumped out for you, artistic. So you know that your soul purpose is going to be definitely to do in the art world. Okay? Creating, developing things. And healing, that's another word, a different word that you like. Okay, who else got a word that they think they might be? Yeah? Dansworth. Down to earth, okay. By the way, you can make up your own words if you want and write it on the bottom if there's something not there. Yeah, down to earth. That's the one of the things I like to think that I am, is down to earth. Yes, hopefully you do have many. What we're going to do is we're going to start by ticking off. You might have like 10 different things, and then we're going to zone in more and more on what are really the particular ones that really jump out for us. And we're going to get it down to like 3 or 4 ones that really jump out for us. Yeah? Speaker, okay? And do you do speaking right now? You'd like to do more, but you're a little bit afraid there's something holding you back, right? Yeah, there's a little past life stuff with you holding you back, so we're going to get to that. But you'd like to do that. Who has another word that jumps out that they think they're good at? Yeah. Energized and organized. Oh, you want to come work for me? And you might say, oh, wow, that's, I would never think of that. You might not have exactly the same talents as somebody else has. Energized and organized. Okay, now, did you put down something that somebody else said about you, but you don't really believe it? Who had a word that people tell them they are, but then you say, oh, I can't really say I am. Yeah? Healer. So people tell you all the time that you're a healer, and you're a little bit modest about it. You'd like to be a healer, wouldn't you? You like it when people say that. You're complimented. If you think, well, I don't know if I really could. Yeah, but you are. People see it in us. People, when they look at us and they say something, they can see us and read us more than we can. So sometimes they see talents that we don't see yet, but they're there. Anybody else got a word that somebody else says about them? Brave. Okay, so you're a little modest. You don't want to say you're brave, but yes, you are. You know you are. Good listener. Yeah, so that's something that other people notice because they're watching you, listening, and you maybe just do it unconsciously, don't even know. Yeah? Enforce rules. So a little bit strict. But it's a good thing because you're going to use that in your life purpose. Not everybody's good at that. Yeah. See, I need more of that with my teenagers. I'm not very good at that. But that is actually a talent. That helps you to be a leader and to organize. And you're a leader, and so that's going to be one of your talents. All right, now, I want you to think about people that you admire. Could be somebody famous, or it could be, just your dad, your hairdresser. Think of somebody that you admire and why you admire them, and then just like in the margin or somewhere, a blank piece, just go ahead and write that person's name and what you admire about them. Now, don't admire what they have. Like, you can't say, well, I admire Bill Gates because he's got a lot of money. But you can admire him because he's a genius, or he's a great thinker, or innovator. What is it you admire about that person? Not what they have. They may have a lot of things because they're very good at what they do, but it's not what they have, but why. So think about the people, could be a famous actress or politician. Think of somebody and what it is that you really admire about that person. Okay, anybody right away that they want to share? Yeah. Who do you admire? Her name is Kim, and she's not famous. Okay, and what do you admire about Kim? She's generous and giving. But business-minded. Okay, who else has got a person they want to share? Oprah. Oprah because she's influential and an example of possibility. Okay, who else has got somebody? Yeah. Jane Goodall. And why do you admire Jane Goodall? She had foresight. She had foresight in trying to save the chimpanzees, and even though she's getting on in age, she's still committed. So she has tenacity. She goes till the end. Okay. Anybody else got anybody? Anybody famous? Yeah? Just a friend? Your mum. Okay. And why do you admire your mum? Stubborn and strong. I'm glad you think stubborn is a good talent. Okay, so you've all got somebody you admire that's famous or not famous, and you've thought about what traits they have. Those are your traits. You cannot recognize something in somebody else unless you have it in yourself. So what did you say? Business-minded and generous. So you're very generous and you are business-minded, even though you think, well, I'd like to be, but I'm not. But you are, or you wouldn't recognize it in somebody else. You are tenacious. You are going to go to the end, just like Jane Goodall. And you do care about the causes, particularly animals. Who else had somebody you're going, oh, that's not me? Yeah, well, who did you admire? Yes. You admired your spiritual teacher because he's selfless and here to help the world, and that's what you are, selfless and here to help the world. Would you normally say that about yourself? Would you say, I am selfless and here to help the world? Yeah, but you would never say it. But you only recognize it in somebody else because you can only see something that somebody else sees. Other people see completely different in that same person. Yeah. She chose Mother Alma because she spends so much time loving people by hugging them. You have no family love, but that is going to be your design. A big part of you is to love and hug people. Does that make a bit more sense to you? And the fact that you don't have the family has actually set you up as a challenge. It's part of your challenge to drive you to your soul purpose, because not having a family has driven you to understand and care more about having a family and the people that you call family. And so the fact that you haven't actually set you up to drive you more to your soul purpose and to know how important that is. Who else had somebody they admire and they're like, that is not my traits at all? Yeah, who did you get? Yeah? The family doctor that delivered you. And why do you admire her? She's strong, decent, honest. And those are big traits for you. It's very important. Honesty is very important. Strength and dependability. And that's all about your personality, and that's why you recognize that. And somebody else might look at that same doctor, admire something else about them, but that's what you admire, and that's because you recognize it. So you only recognize somebody else. So when somebody's giving you a compliment, they're seeing something in you that they have in themselves. Yes, darling? Okay, so she admires Celine Dion, and it's not really about the singing. It's that she draws people to her and that she's very generous. So that's you. You're going to be out there in the public more than you think. Lady at the back, yeah? Elvis. Get your glitter on, darling. What do you admire about Elvis? The words in his songs. So it's the certain words in the songs that you're resonating with. So have a think about those. Okay, he sings from the heart. So you like people that express with honesty. You like people that actually share the love and the feelings. And that's important in your life, is that you share. And that's part of your soul purpose, is to help other people share their emotions and not to hold back, but to be honest with their feelings. What do you do right now for a living? You're a retired grandmother. So your soul purpose is actually through your family and through making sure that people express love honestly. Okay, what irks you about people? What do you say? Oh, I can't stand when people are late. I don't like him because he always does this thing that irritates me. I don't like stupid people. Okay, what irks you about people? Lazy. Hate lazy people. You know why you hate lazy people? Because you're the opposite. And so you hate something that doesn't resonate. It's the opposite of your soul purpose. So hard working is going to be very important to you and part of your soul purpose. So you hate anybody that does the opposite to your soul purpose. What irks you about people? Lies. Okay, so honesty is really very important to you, and that's going to be part of your soul purpose, to be open and honest. Passive aggressive. You like people to show their true feelings. Okay, so that's part of your soul purpose, to be the opposite. What do you do for a living? You do marketing, okay? So you like it to be out there. You don't like anything hidden. You want people to know exactly what it's about. Yes. Yeah. inconsiderate and selfish. And that's because you're very considerate of everybody. In fact, a little too much. You consider everybody else before yourself. You ask for everybody else, and you kind of put yourself back last a little bit. So, but that's important to you and part of your soul purpose. Cruelty, yeah. Now, are you helping with animals particularly? You've decided you want to help animals, yeah, because you're going to go out there and fight for what's opposite to your soul purpose. You don't want that, yeah? Thoughtless, unconscious. Anything cruel, thoughtless. You want to make sure that everybody's taken care of. You're a real carer. So you're kind of a healer in your own way, natural healer. So what do you do for a living? Body work. You are a healer. Okay, there you go. Yeah? You don't like people to conform and be fake. You like people to be natural and free and to express themselves. So you're all about helping people express their true self. What do you do for a living? Being an actress. So there you go. So you're absolutely doing that, living your dream. Okay, so, and we can ask our guides. We all have a guide. We all have a main spirit guide that's with us. They're assigned to us when we're born. They come with us into this life, or they're with us the whole time. Do you know that you have a guide? And if you feel like you have a guide, you have a person that is with you, that is part of you, that we can actually talk to and they can help us, but we often don't think about it. And when we're doing something new, we're learning a new career or something new in our life, they will actually bring in other guides. So if we're writing a book or learning to play an instrument, they might bring in another guide. So we have one main guide, and then if we need extra additional expertise, they will bring in other guides. We are protected and we're talking with them all the time, but we don't often consciously ask them for help. We can ask them for help, and they will help us and direct us, but we don't do that. So a lot of the time they're like, well, we could help her. She's kind of struggling here with her career, and she's wondering which way to go. We could kind of direct her over here, but she hasn't asked. So we better leave her alone because it's part of her karma, right? So we've brought things to us to experience it. So we might have brought a challenge into our life, and we could ask for a little bit of divine guidance and help, and we could get that, and they could direct us a little bit. But if we don't ask for that, well, it's part of our learning experience. We want to have a little bit more financial stress. Okay, and they're going to let us have a little bit more financial stress because that's what we want. They could help us if we asked, but we haven't asked, right? Yeah, we could have that bad knee a little bit longer. We obviously want to experience a little bit of that pain. We haven't really completely felt that bad knee yet. We need to experience it a little longer. We could ask, but we haven't asked, right? So we actually have these helpers. Yes, darling? You have 3. You have... Oh, so great. So you're in touch with them and you talk to them and you know them. Oh, that's wonderful. They help. Sometimes when you're on the freeway and you think, why did I get behind this accident? Or why did I get off at the wrong exit? Or why did I get lost? Sometimes we're being divinely guided and you're actually being protected in some way. You're being directed.
Is that like a guardian angel?
Like a guardian angel, I believe we have a spirit guide who is a person, has been a human before, so they've had a life. They understand what it's like to be human. So they're a bit more opinionated, and they maybe have a personality. They've been somebody in a life before. They can guide you a little bit better. Our angels are around us, but they've never been a human. So when we get stuck in a situation, they're like, love and light, we love them and protect them. We don't really understand what they're going through. That's for your guide to more understand. So we have an angel and we have a guide. Angels to me are more for love and protection. And if you're really going to step out in front of a truck before it's your time, they will intervene, but try not to test that. But most of the times they're just there for love and protection. And your guide is more they more resonate with you, they're more part of you, and you can talk to them about more down-to-earth kind of things that you're experiencing and get help. We have this whole spirit world around us, and we also have power animals and animal guides, but we have this whole invisible world around us if we would just talk to them and ask for help. And we can go through these experiences on our own, but it's so much more difficult to do it on your own. Wouldn't it be much easier if you could ask for help and they say, oh, well, here's this opportunity over here, and they open a door for you, and it's like, oh, wow, things start to run smoother when you ask for help. But when you ask for help, you also have to look for the signs, because when you ask for something, it's got to come to you in some way. So if you're asking particularly, give me some advice on this, what should I do? What happens over the next few hours or days? Like, does somebody call out the blue and invite you somewhere? Well, if they do, you've got to say yes. You can't go, no, I don't feel like it. I'm going to stay home tonight, right? Because sometimes we're being offered, right now the guides are opening all these doors for us, and we're just kind of blindly walking by like that, those doors are being opened for us. And our guides are like, yeah, eventually they'll get it, they're very patient with us. Today's one of those days where you're being guided. Oh, perfect. Yeah. So let's ask our guide what they can tell us about our purpose, what we're supposed to be doing. Okay? Do you want to do that? Let's ask our guides what tools and talents we've brought into this life that we're going to be using, and what is going to be our soul purpose, and see if they can give us a little insight, because they know us very well. So we're going to uncross our arms and our legs, and we're going to do a little meditation. So close your eyes. And we're going to envision that beautiful white light all around us. White light from divine source that's going to completely protect and take care of us. Breathe in that beautiful white light and release out all your negativity. We're going to allow your body to stay physically planted on the chair. Feel your feet on the ground and your butt on the chair. But as you breathe in that white light, we're going to allow our spiritual body to vibrate a little higher, a little lighter, until it actually drifts up a little bit. Breathe in that white light and then release out all your negativity. And as you breathe in that white light, and you'll allow your spiritual body to vibrate higher, you're getting more and more up into the spiritual realms. And we're going to ask that one of our spirit guides come in. Let's ask for our main guide to come in. And you'll experience them mostly on your right-hand side. The right-hand side's more spiritual. So imagine that you have a person sitting next to you on your right-hand side. Just invite somebody to come in and sit next to you on your right. And just sense at first that somebody's sitting there. It's a very warm, loving feeling, because this person loves you unconditionally. And just feel that loving energy between you. Feel them next to you. You might want to reach out and hold their hand and feel their energy next to you. And then just look down at their feet. In your imagination, just look down to the right and look down at their feet and see what they're wearing on their feet. And then look up their body, come up their body and see what they're wearing and get a sense of who they are. Because this is a person that was and an incarnation on this planet before. They might even have known you before. So get a sense of who they were. You might see from what they're wearing what time they came from. Look up their body and get a feeling, a sense of who they are. It's hard to see them all at once. Ask to see their hair color. Ask if you can just see their hair color. Ask if you can see their eyes. Maybe their profile. And get a sense of the personality. You might even get a name, but if you get a name, that might be just something that kind of pops into your mind. And those of you that feel more, you might just feel the energy. You might not see them visually. If you can't have a hard time, just say, well, I'm just going to try in my imagination to see if I could make something up. What would it look like? You might just feel the energy. You might just see a light or feel a loving energy next to you. Now, they're going to give you a gift. This gift is either a box or it's a little package. It might be a plain box or a very ornate box. Go ahead and accept this gift from them. When you're ready, you can open that gift, take the lid off the box or unwrap the package and look inside. Now inside you might find a note with something written on. You might find an object or 2 or 3. You might not at first know what this means. You can ask them. This is an indication of your tools, your talents, your gifts, and your life purpose. You might not at first know what it is. You could ask them what it means. You might not see anything at all. There might be nothing in there. That's okay. Or you might see a light or an energy. That's okay too. Or just a color. Whatever you get, go ahead, put the lid on the box, wrap up the package, and take that into your heart chakra. Bring that into your heart chakra and accept that beautiful gift. And thank your guide that is with you throughout this life for being there, for loving you unconditionally. They know you intimately. And ask them right now if they can give you some advice, some help with your soul purpose. Is there something that you need to know right now? Something that will help you get on your path? Maybe something is holding you back right now. Can they give you a little bit of advice on what it is and what you're supposed to be doing? Okay, we're going to pull back our energy now, so we're not going to feel them quite as much, but they're always there. And when we want to connect, we just do this. We just gently get down into this vibration. But we're going to bring ourselves back now physically. So we're going to gently come back physically. Pull your energy back until you can feel your feet on the ground. And you can feel yourself back in the chair. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Okay, does anybody want to share what they got in the box? Yeah, what did you get?
For me, it was
A camera, okay. And are you interested in photography?
I've always been interested, but I've been afraid.
Yeah, so you'd love to take photos, you'd love to do that, but also you have a hard time thinking, how am I going to make money at that, right? You need to start baby steps doing what you love. This is something you can start doing on the side. You can start taking photos, and it doesn't always come exactly the way you think. It's not like, oh, well, I'm just going to go out and look at job offers and see how that job's going to develop. You're going to start it on as a sideline, as a hobby, and it's going to develop, and they're going to show you as it goes, because it's not just regular photography. It's creative, it's caring about the people you're taking pictures of. And so you start those baby steps and you start putting it out there, but that's what you're supposed to be doing. And when you do the photography, you know it feels wonderful. Okay, lady at the back, what did you get in your box? Okay, she got a book, an elephant, and a horse. You're supposed to be writing, you're supposed to be traveling, and you're supposed to be writing about your experiences and about your guides that you see very clearly. They're going to be channeling to you. Yes, so they're going to be channeling for you. Yeah?
I saw my granddad as my guide, but I was alive when he died.
Yeah, he's not your main guide. Your main guide is somebody that was born with you, but your grandfather is around you as an extra additional guide. He's very strong. He's very kind of strong-willed. So, but you do have a main guide that's there. Yeah, butterflies are transformation. So right now is a major transformation. You actually have just discovered what your soul purpose is, and you're just transforming into that. So that's what they're telling you. Your guide is a little Native American woman. She's quite quiet, but she's very kind of strong. So your grandfather comes forward. He's very business-minded, so he's going to help you with the business aspect of it. Yeah. It was a brown package, and it seemed very plain and ordinary to you. You are very down to earth. You have been a Native American healer in a past life, and they're showing you more natural things for you. You don't have to have something very ornate. You don't have to go looking around. You do a little too much of, I should go study this, I'm going to learn that, and I'm going to learn that, and then which one do I use? And really, it's all right here. You've done this before. You've got the talents here. You brought them in from your past lives. So it's more about meditating, especially in nature, especially with that Native American connection. Okay. Your guide, Peter, gave you a name. Great. He's very tall, very handsome. Yeah. She looked at his toes and his abs. I think he's Egyptian. Yeah, it's fit. She's got a fit one over here. What did he give you for a box? Yeah, gave her a Tiffany blue box. He gave us something very special. And he's telling, he gave you a pen, and he gave you it in a very fancy box, because he's like, you are very special, and you're going to be writing. So I don't know if you've even thought about writing yet, but she just started a course in writing, so that is going to be part of your soul purpose. But it's writing about something specific, helping people. So you've had some experiences not so good earlier in life that you're going to be writing about and helping other people. Okay, the lady in the back, the actress. Okay, so your grandfather came through again. That's a very special connection. And sometimes your loved ones will come in. They've been dying to talk to you, so he's been dying for a long time to connect. So he's going to take any opportunity to come in. And that's the same way you can connect with your loved ones. When you want to call them in, call in your guide first and then ask your loved ones to come in. But, sometimes the relatives are, want to get up there. You're going to be moving to another town. So I don't know if you've thought about... it's more stage, getting out stage for you. There's going to be some plays for you. I think you've had some conflict with family about moving. They're saying be strong because you're supposed to go to another city and live your dreams, and you're getting some of your challenges. I'm not sure I should move away, people telling you what to do. Sometimes people tell us what they think we should have for our soul purpose. So sometimes we do something because dad told us that we should do it, our family showed us we do it the right way to do it, and then we get in conflict if it's not with our soul purpose. So you have a little bit of challenge ahead with that, with people saying that it's not the right thing to do. But we know in our heart what's the right thing to do. All right, we'll do a little bit more, but I want to go back to the sheet here, and I think it's towards the end, there's some sentences. I want to take these talents that you have and put them into a soul purpose statement. So there's some statements. Can somebody tell me what page it's on? Page 3, yeah. Look at those soul purpose statements. None of them are going to exactly fit you, but this is an idea. I want you to formulate a sentence. It could be a 2-part sentence of what is your soul purpose. Now, it's going to be involving these talents that you have. So the traits that you found that you have, the things that you're good at. You're not going to have a sole purpose to do something you're not good at. They're not going to make you go out and public speak if you're really not good at it. You might have a little challenge getting to that point. You might dream you can do something and you might be a little afraid to get to it, but you have the talent there. So what could you do? Look at the mission statements. Do any of those resonate with you? And then rearrange those into your words that fit your mission statement. But you want to formulate a mission statement. This is going to be your sole purpose that you might be able to fulfill through your job, through your career, or it could be also through your hobby or family. Most people will actually do it through their career, through their main job. So look at those mission statements and see if anything stands out, and then see if you can formulate around that. What is exactly right for you? Okay, so is anybody looking at any of those mission statements? Anybody have a statement right now? Yeah. To help people be more compassionate through example. What are you doing for a living right now? You're a Reiki master. You do other stuff. What do you really want to do? You want to do that healing, hands-on healing, but you haven't quite directed exactly what it is yet. And also you're having a hard time figuring how you're going to make money at it. Yeah. Okay? We're going to have to concentrate a little bit more on what it is exactly, how you're going to do that, and then how you're going to start visualizing that, and you're going to start putting out to Spirit to help you to formulate it, and also to help to put that into an actual career that you're going to make a lot of money at. Because we're supposed to live our purpose in abundance. We're not supposed to have a purpose that doesn't make very much money. We're supposed to have money in life to do the things we want to do. And when we're living our sole purpose and we're good at it, it's okay to be blessed with finances. Okay, who else? Who has a statement? Yeah? Help improve the lives of others through community service. And what are you doing right now? So you've actually studied to do urban planning, community planning. So you're actually studied to do exactly what you want to do. So now you're just going out in the world to figure out how that's practically going to go out there. Okay, who else? Yeah?
I think I'm supposed to bring
Divine spaces of love and protection. Creating divine spaces of love and protection. You're an architect and you've been studying biogeometry. Okay, but yours has also to do with Native American. That's very important to bring that in. So you're going to be bringing in cultural ways of taking in some of the old knowledge that you have from past lives and bringing that into your work and design. So I don't know if you've thought about that part of it yet, but that's going to be a big part of your purpose. It's not just about pretty places. They have a purpose, and you need to look at like the 4 directions and some of the old wisdom ways to bring in. Yeah? To show through example that any challenges in life can be overcome. Now you've gone through some difficult challenges in your life. Grief. And you realize now that some of the things you've had to go through have also made you a lot stronger and helped you to help others. Have there been difficult times in your life? Who's gone through some difficult challenges in their life? Okay. What are some of the most difficult things that you've had? What difficult challenge? Your husband passed away 5.5 years ago. Yeah. So after her husband died, after they'd been together for 31 years, she discovered Reiki. And it was Reiki that's now helped you. So now you're in your new era of life and you're going to start using Reiki and natural healing to help others. So, yeah, you are. Because you are a natural healer, so you're going to be working on that and bringing that out. So sometimes the challenges will bring to the forefront something that we're really good at. Yes? What was your big challenge? Sexual abuse, and that goes on with a lot of people. And you say, well, how could I have chosen this? Because we've chosen all these bad experiences that we've had. And then how can I, use that and get over that? Well, we have chosen that for an experience that we want to have. And so even though something bad happened to us and it's hard to forgive, we also need to say, okay, we chose that. We need to now release that and move on and use that lesson to then get stronger so that we can help other people. So you have gotten stronger. And what have you done as a result? So it helped you to get closer to divine and to realize, that we do choose our lessons. And you realize that there is a God. And that's hard when you go through challenges like that. Who else had a difficult time? Death of the parent, yeah. And was it Dad that died? Mum. Okay. So how did that affect your life? So you became the mother of the whole family. Yeah. Yeah, but you're the eldest, so you got to you felt more than anything. Okay. What is your sole purpose? Do you know yet? To help others. So actually your mum's death actually set you up. You were taught at a very young age how to take control and be a mother, and that is your sole purpose, to help others in that motherly way. So although it was a difficult thing you set for yourself, it also helped you to get closer to your sole purpose. Yeah? You were forced to marry a person that you didn't want to. So she escaped the country. So she left the country, left parents, left home, left everything. Yeah, but you also came to another country, started a new life, did things that you probably never would have done if that hadn't happened to you. And when you look at your life now, living in this country and doing what you're doing, you probably never would have done that if you'd have stayed in that country. And it, yeah, you didn't lose your soul, but you felt a little bit lost. But when you look back at that transition, and you'll realize how much you've grown from it and what you're doing now. No regret. Yeah, and a lot of times we'll say that, it was really, really difficult, but now I realize that something good came out of it, that it was a learning curve. Yeah. So you lost an uncle that you were really close to when you were younger, and he also immediately became your spirit guide. So you actually became closer connected spiritually and with the spirit world because he was there to kind of transition with that. Sometimes our loved ones do pass, and they're not our main guide, but they do stay around us and can, be closer to us. Yeah. Sole purposes, but we've got things that are kind of holding us back. Sometimes we're a little afraid, Who was my healer over here? We're going to do past lives next, but you've been persecuted as a healer in a past life. And so whenever you get to doing that work, you don't feel... You feel like it's, for some reason you're going to get in trouble. Maybe your family are not going to accept it, or somebody's not going to like it, but you get very worried. Do you want to come up and we'll use you as a volunteer? All right, can I grab a chair? So you can just grab me a chair for them to sit on. From the back, maybe. So what happens is we also collect our worries and our past life issues around our energy. So we might get close to our career, and then for some reason there's something holding us back. And sometimes it's in our past life and we might not even know. Sometimes it is something in this life and we feel scared and challenged. Okay, so what I'm getting from you is that you really you're a natural energy channel, and you should be doing healing. And you've thought about going into a partnership and doing some kind of healing business, and for some reason, it always doesn't work out at the last minute. Something falls through. Is that right?
Yes, truly. Yeah.
Do you want to explain a little bit more about that?
There's at least a few healers that I'm going to be working with, but for whatever reason, it just
the last minute something falls apart. It's kind of a surprise. And what it is, you get to a certain point, and then your soul goes, "Oh, wait a minute, I got in trouble for doing this before." Okay.
It feels like a relief too.
It feels like a relief because
I'm not ready to
okay.
go there.
All right, and we're getting into a little bit of past life stuff, but what I want to do is do a little energy clearing, and we're going to do it on everybody, make sure everybody gets that. But I'm going to start with her, using her as a surrogate to clear off some past life stuff. And particularly what we're going to do is we're going to clear off fears that she has that are stopping her. And I actually feel like you're in something like Salem, in the witchcraft trials. And I don't know if you've ever had nightmares about things like that, but you've definitely been persecuted for being a natural healer. You're very talented as a natural healer. You also know about things like herbs and tinctures, things like that. You'd be very good at it, but every time you get close to actually doing that, it falls through. And it's your soul saying, oh gosh, I was burned before at the stake, and that was pretty horrible, okay? And I don't know if you're staying for the next class, but we're going to do past life stuff, so we'll get a little bit more into past lives. But right now, let's just ask to clear off any energy that might be holding you back. So if you want to join in, close your eyes. And we're going to ask to connect to the beautiful, benevolent spirit world. We're only working with beings of the white light. We're completely protected in here by white light. And we're asking for these beautiful spirits to come in and work with our energy. And I'm asking them to come around our aura and remove any negative ties, any negative energy, any fear that's holding us back from our soul purpose. And in particular, we want to remove any past life cords and these people that persecuted her that are still in her energy field. Would you like to remove anything negative that's holding you back from your soul purpose? Give me a big yes.
Yes.
Take a deep breath. 1, 2, 3. Ah, okay. Wonderful. Thank you, darling. Give me a hug.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you'll see that all of a sudden things start working out and falling into place. Sometimes it's just that little bit.